My name is Randy, and this is the first message from Long Shot Recovery. All Long Shot Recovery is the movement for all those people who think they've got no shot and they're ready to quit. So I suffered from addiction for over 17 years, and I wanted to die every day at the end. I was considered the long shot. No one believed I could get sober after many failed attempts. But today I celebrate 2.5 years of continuous sobriety. I live a full life filled with joy, laughter, love, and most important, hope. I got to tell you, I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be rich. I want to share some things that I've learned over the last 2.5 years in recovery that changed my life, where I went from wanting to die to loving my life and myself and to have a purpose and a reason to get out of bed in the morning other than a paycheck. As I'm writing this, I just learned one of my early sponsees from a year ago just died. It was an overdose, and this is senseless. What can I do? I got to ask myself. I don't have to change the world. My goal is to change one person's world. So I'm really talking to you, that guy, that girl, the mother, the brother, the husband, the wife, the son, the daughter, who is sitting here and watching this. Maybe you've burned every bridge. You've been told you may never get clean and sober. You feel like your life has no meaning. You're filled with guilt, shame. You want to stop using, but you can't. You're ready to give up. You look at everyone's life and say, I'll never have that. A family, that love, that laughter, that hope and faith that everyone else has. That was a lie that I lived for 17 years. Through these videos, I'm going to give you a new truth and a new way out. I was right there 2.5 years ago in early recovery. I found hope in other people's recovery stories. I borrowed their hope until I could get my own. I want to share a story of redemption from 17 years of addiction that begins with devastation, hopelessness, brokenness, and on the verge of homelessness. I grew up in a loving family with never any real signs of addiction, just heavy social drinking starting at 18. After the Marines, the drink turned to cocaine, then to crack, and that's where it took me to my knees. I was a Marine, then a 6-figure national account manager in a $1 billion semiconductor industry. Everything external defined me. The size of my paycheck, my status, my sales, the girls, the car, the house, it all gave me my worth, and when I lost it all, I had no value, I had no worth. Today, my past mistakes do not define me. Today, I define myself by my life, how well I love God, love others, and make a difference. I don't do it perfectly, but that's my goal. Although I had random acts of kindness during my using, and people saw glimpses of a kind-hearted Randy, I was being held hostage by my addiction. I was incapable of having long-term relationships. Eventually, I hurt everyone that I cared about. I could not be trusted, counted on. I lied and cheated and stole my way through life. I was a taker. And at the end, I was unemployable, renting a room and about to be homeless. My family was loving me from a distance. I had a daughter I had not seen in 17 years, and then I was in debt to everyone. I wanted to die. I had no hope, no future, no purpose. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, that hopeless state of mind and body, there is no greater misery than wanting to die and can't. My prayers to God were heal me or kill me. It all changed September 4th of 2017, the day of my last drink and drug, where I made a few phone calls and I was accepted into sober living with no job, no money, and only a bag of clothes. Today, 2.5 years clean and sober, my life is amazing, but it all started with an AA sponsor. Owen was telling me on the first day we met, I needed a radical departure from my old life. Radical departure. That means everything about me needed to be halted and do a complete 180 from the way that I think, process feelings, treat others, and handle life's curveballs. Basically, I needed to be completely reinvented, and he said, we will change everything one thing at a time. I wanted his peace, his serenity, his faith, and his connection with God, and I was willing to do anything he told me. So here's the first lesson. Early recovery's tough. If it wasn't tough, we would all not mind relapsing. We have to rely on everyone for something. We need food, shelter, bus passes. Some of us get to go to treatment if we're lucky. Some of us have to do it the hard way like I did with no insurance in AA and sober living. So step 1 in early recovery. Draw a line in the sand and stop being defined by your past. Let this day be the first day where your word means something, where your commitment is kept. And it could be as simple as make your bed in the morning. Pay this week's rent. This is how trust is built and self-esteem is nurtured. Step 2 in early recovery. is to find gratitude. There's a saying that says, a grateful heart will never drink, and I believe this because it worked for me. So how do you find gratitude when you have nothing to offer anyone, nothing material to hold on to? Well, I'm about to tell you. I can remember the first night of Joe's in sober living, surrounded by 6 other guys in a big room. Of course, one guy snoring. And as I pulled the blanket up over my body, with a grateful heart, I realized that by staying sober, I would never be hungry, and I would never be homeless. You can drop me off in Somalia, and I would be ready to go to battle, but I would have no fear. But that day, my biggest fear was being hungry and homeless and alone. That was my first grateful thought. I was in sober living with no job, very little food, all my clothes in a trash bag, but I was safe. I had a roof over my head, and people cared for me. I was truly blessed. And for the first time in early recovery, I was thinking about what I had, about what I didn't have. My first real lesson came when Joe asked me to walk the dogs. It was 10 p.m. one night. I said, Joe, do I have to? And the next words out of his mouth, they shaped my whole perspective on life. He said, Randy, you don't have to. You get to. I can take you outside and show you the people on the streets that wish they had a dog walking problem. I took that and adopted it to my whole new daily living. Gratitude is the cornerstone of my recovery, where I realize that life is not happening to me. It's happening for me. And I know early recovery is tough. I have to ride the bus. I have to work in a low-paying job. I have to make my bed in sober living. I have to go to recovery meetings. And for those not in recovery, maybe it's I have to mow my yard. I have to help my wife around the house. I have to take my kids to school. Well, take a walk with me one day and I'll show you people that would love to have your high-class problems. They would love to go to meetings. They would love to get to make a bed. They would love to get to mow a yard. They would love to get to have a nagging wife. When you change your have-tos to get-tos, your life will change for the better. This philosophy is the birthplace for having true joy. Many things you take for granted are things other people are praying to have. My goal for these videos is not to elevate me, but to elevate my God and what he did for a hopeless crackhead who now heads up an outreach center for the Source Treatment Center, works for children's ministry at his church, is married to a God-loving woman with 3 beautiful God-loving stepdaughters, has a life where people call me when they're in trouble or need guidance, but most important, I have found hope and a purpose. And if you like what you've heard, stay tuned for the next video, which is the secret to contentment. The most important things in your life can be eaten by a moth or can be stolen, or as I like to say, if the most important things in your life can be lost in the fire, you may want to rethink it and move from a happy life where external things drive your inside emotions to a life filled with joy, which comes from inside and is unshakable and not based on external conditions. So from my heart, if you're struggling, you need someone to talk to, please reach out. My email is randy@longshotrecovery.com. I'll do whatever I can or connect you with the right person. If you click or like the video, you'll be alerted for the next video. Please share the video or leave a comment or a question. By sharing, there may be one person out there that needs a message of hope, and that's my only goal. So stay tuned for more messages of hope from Longshot Recovery, where radical departure from your old life is possible. God bless.